Hi, this is your host, Jeff Ragavin, and you're listening to Marketing Mix, where we hear from some of the most influential CMOs of today to discuss the strategies of tomorrow. Welcome to Marketing Mix. Joining me today is Sabena Suri. Sabena is the co-founder and chief strategy officer at BOXFOX. Sabena, it's great to be here with you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to chat.
Yeah, so Sabena, first, congrats on the Forbes 30 under 30 this past year. It's a great achievement.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
So Sabena, before we get started, it'd be great for you to talk a little bit to our listeners about BOXFOX, its mission. You guys are doing some really cool stuff through e-commerce. So give us a little bit of a background on what you and your other co-founders are working on right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So BoxFox is an e-commerce gifting company. We sell pre-curated gift boxes as well as the ability to build your own gifts using Build a BoxFox. And then we also do a lot of corporate gifting for clients. So really, we started at the end of 2014. We're in year 5, and this is a huge growth year for us. We have a lot of exciting projects going on, but it's been a really interesting journey to kind of starting at a kitchen table in Venice and then being able to grow the company to 25 people and counting right now. So it's a very exciting time, and it's been a whirlwind for sure.
That's awesome. So now you guys have shipped more than 60,000 boxes, right? You're shipping in over 20 countries. From a space where there's lots of options to buy, talk to us about why BoxFox, where did the idea come from, and what you guys are doing, which really sets you apart from any other gifting site.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as so many kind of great ideas do, this really came out of personal experience. So, we had a good friend in 2014 who was in the hospital, and I was 24 at the time. 23, and my co-founders were 22, and we were kind of at the bottom of the totem pole in our jobs, and we wanted to send her kind of a care package that was elevated and modern and had items she would actually use to heal. So maybe a journal, some socks, a book, something that really allowed us to be there for her when we couldn't be there for her physically. And we, Googled, we were looking everywhere, and we didn't want to send flowers. We didn't want to send kind of a typical brown box off an random e-commerce site. We wanted to send something really personal and beautiful that reflected the relationship. And when we couldn't find that, we said, okay, this is, something that needs to exist. And then of course these experiences happened a couple of more times that year, whether it was a friend getting married or, somebody moving or getting a new job. And we realized there was a huge opportunity here to really create something that people would actually use.
The thing that I really love about your business is where it really comes down around personalization. I think the customization around it's so great, especially for people who are so busy. And it's like, oh, I need a gift, but I kind of don't know what to buy. And you could literally mix and match all of these great things on themes, right?
Yep, exactly. That was kind of the intention from the beginning, was letting, the recipient or the sender really customize the product to their recipient, because what you're looking to send, and really trying to mimic the experience that you would have had offline, bringing that online.
When you're thinking about your marketing strategy and you're thinking about personalization, are you guys focusing on marketing to very specific target audiences?
Yeah, we it's definitely a combination. We think a lot about those target segments because, of course, if you're thinking about a target segment, there are probably also commonalities in terms of life stage and sort of what they're experiencing. So if you're targeting, 18 to 22-year-olds, a lot of them are going to be sending gifts for 21st birthdays. And then if you're targeting recent grads, it's going to be a lot of promotions and engagement. So really interesting kind of coalition between life stage as well as target audience. That's definitely one way. And I think we also get really specific about seasonality. So of course, the holidays are huge for us, whether that's Valentine's Day, which just passed, or Mother's Day, or, the holidays in December. And so we really obviously do a lot of personalized marketing during those kind of time periods as well.
How are you finding all of these interesting products?
Yeah, I mean, I think when we started, we had kind of a list of dream brand partners that we wanted to work with. And really, the idea there was what are the products we would actually want to gift ourselves? Like, what would we want to gift our moms? What would we want to gift our friends? Like, what is the best chocolate, the best candle, the best hand cream, all of that. So we had kind of these dream partners, and it was definitely a process trying to get them on board and to understand our vision. We were obviously nobody, so they had to kind of take a little bit of a risk. But that was a process in terms of just kind of proving our concept at the beginning. And then from there, we've definitely kind of evolved that philosophy and tried to bring in some more smaller up and coming brands, knowing our audience a little bit more, knowing who is buying and for what. So yeah, definitely a lot of gifting shows. We all travel, personally and professionally a lot. So we've brought back really cool brands from Australia, Mexico, India, just kind of in our own kind of sourcing. We're always looking for new brands and products. So it's a fun job. Somebody's got to do it.
Going from, let's just say, the beginning stages to where you are today, what were some of the strategies that really worked for you guys to get your name out there?
Yep, absolutely. I mean, I think for us, what's really interesting from a marketing standpoint is we have this inherently viral business. So every transaction is two-way between the sender and the recipient. So we have that built in, word of mouth, which is amazing for us, obviously. But I think that from other strategies we employed, we always wanted to act like a small company. I mean, we still are a very small company, but I think having that kind of mentality. It was always about high touch customer service. We've never outsourced it. We don't even outsource our fulfillment. So everything happens in house, and it allows us to get really personal with every, customer interaction, as well as be able to, act very quickly to problem solve and really stay very, very close to the product. So I'd say that's kind of like what just differentiates us, and probably what we're most passionate about is always kind of never growing too quickly, and always being able to kind of offer that same level of experience to our customers that keeps them coming back and knows that they really can count on us to be their go-to for gifting.
Not just being a co-founder, but you're also really focused on strategy. Are there any specific marketing trends that you see as, let's just say, the most prevalent for the company in the next 5 years?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a couple. One is definitely buzzword, but predictive technology and kind of data driven personalization. And I think it's super relevant for us because if we're able to understand the needs of our customers from a, who's important in your life, who do you want to be there for, and making it very kind of like contextually relevant to them, serving them the right recommendations at the right time, that really allows us to truly fulfill the vision of being the go-to for gifting, because we are able to kind of be their partner in that and making them just a better friend or partner, sibling, coworker, what have you. So that's definitely something I think a lot about, is how we can gather that data and then how we can actually execute on that, from a marketing, content, product experience. And then I think another thing that's really interesting to me and I'm super passionate about is how we can kind of bring, the e-commerce experience to the real world. So of course, that was the opposite case 5 or 7 years ago. It was everything was going online. And now I think we're seeing a little bit of a shift in very strategic, experience driven retail experiences that go beyond, a traditional brick and mortar, but kind of make the brand come to life for those really passionate customers in a very, key areas of the country. So we've done a few pop-ups in LA, but I think, I would love to see us on the East Coast and maybe, some other places in the US, and see how customers respond to our concept when it taken into the real world.
If you were to do a brick and mortar model, like how exactly would that work?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely my dream to have a store, a permanent store in LA. And we get asked this all the time, like, where can I come buy, the products? And I think, build a box box. It's just such a cool concept for people to actually be able to engage with and on a real level. We've done a few pop-ups in LA, and with that kind of concept in mind. And so that would be my dream. It's just having a permanent store that people can come in and build a totally 100% custom gift and, be able to take it home that same day.
I love it. So one thing that I wanted to ask you, because we do have a ton of listeners and we have a ton of female founders, female marketers. You and your other co-founders, you're all women. You guys started the company, you built the company, now you're really scaling it. Is there anything that you could talk about from one, your experience as a female founder, and any top tips for other women who want to start a business as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, of course, it's so central to my experience as an entrepreneur, being a woman. I think when we started, myself and my two co-founders always felt like we kind of had, we had the female thing and we had the under 25 thing. We were super young, so we kind of had these two aspects of what we were up against, if you will. But really, that never really stopped us. We just really knew that BOXFOX was such a great idea. And I think in my experience, the issue that we ran into was people assumed because we had this kind of, female cute idea, female driven kind of cute idea, people just said, oh yeah, it's just like a box company, like kind of wrote it off a little bit. And so our real goal in that was trying to show that this concept actually was scalable and could be really relevant to people's both personal and professional lives and make a huge impact. Wasn't just a concept that was being created for the sake of starting a company, but was actually solving a real need in the market. So in terms of that, I would say that's probably my number one tip, is really understanding your why and understanding that if you are creating a company that you truly believe in and believe needs to exist, just really being able to focus on that, walking into any meeting or situation with that kind of confidence and understanding, because that really is contagious and people really respond well to that. And then I think, something that's not talked about as much with being a female entrepreneur, but we have this awesome intuition, a lot of women, and it's not necessarily the rational side. It's a little bit more of like the gut instinct. And we can say, whether it's choosing the right co-founder or partnering with a VC or making those initial product decisions, we just kind of have this sense of yes or no, right and wrong. And I think that we need to start embracing that as women and really understanding that that's actually a huge strength that can work alongside a very kind of like rational thinker. So that has always worked well for me, and just understanding that I have this great female intuition. How can I use that to be kind of the best entrepreneur possible? Yeah, those are probably my two biggest tips.
That's awesome. And, my team is launching Glow, which is Growth Leaders of Women. And it's all about bringing together and empowering female marketers. And I think you'd be an amazing speaker at one of their events. So one question I had for you, if you were to have a Sabena BOXFOX, like what would be in your box?
I love that question. So we have so many different products. Actually, Build a BOXFOX, fun fact, you can build 2.5 billion different combinations of gifts. So a lot of options to choose from. But my personal favorites, I'm obsessed with our Beaker glass water bottles. They're just these really elevated, sleek water bottles, and I drink a ton of water. So definitely put one of those in there. Love Volusta candles. My favorite scent is Blonde Tobacco, which is kind of like the smoky scent that I have on my desk. And I love Pinch Provisions Mini Emergency Kit. It's like a little kit with all these little essentials that I always have in my car just in case I need to, do something, make a little on the go shift. And then because I have a major sweet tooth, I would definitely have a Compartes chocolate bar. We launched a collaboration with them for BOXFOX that's a tiramisu flavor, totally custom, and it's amazing. So one of those, maybe Sugarfina peach bellinis for good measure. And yeah, that would probably be my curation.
Those are very good.
They're dangerously good.
Okay, so just before we go, two just quick final questions. I wanted to think about something that's more, on the personal side. For you in particular, like what keeps you up at night? What's it that really gets you out of bed?
Ooh, I love that. I would say what gets me out of bed is definitely the fact that this company, I believe, can actually really impact people's lives, both personal and professional. So on a personal level, I think we live in such a, digitally driven age, and the idea that we can send these tangible gifts that make such an impact on people's relationships. That just drives everything that I do, both on the e-commerce consumer side as well as the B2B side. It's just my reason for doing what I do. And what keeps me up at night, I think, is kind of just the flip side of that coin is, remaining kind of the top of our game, I guess, in terms of delivering on that. So making sure we're staying ahead of the competition, always innovating, providing the best solutions for our customers, really being that go-to for gifting, and thinking about the balance between serving kind of those loyal customers and always providing sort of a differentiated experience, but also remaining kind of true to who we are as a company, and why we started, and like sort of the BOXFOX Foundation. So yeah, kind of that double-sided coin is what gets me out of bed, keeps me up.
Awesome. Congrats on all your success. And it's a great company. It's a great idea. I actually personally can't wait to buy a few things for some folks. So thanks so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. This was awesome.
Thank you for tuning in to Marketing Mix. We hope you enjoyed today's podcast. Be sure to share and subscribe. Until next time, take care.